All right. 7:06, Thursday, March 5th. This is Town of Monroe Planning and Zoning. I'm acting Chairman Nomaini for tonight. You'd stand up and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Starting to my right, we'll call the order.
Dominic Smergalino, alternate commissioner.
Dominic Benicia, alternate commissioner.
Ryan Condon, Commissioner.
Robert Westland, commissioner.
Nicole Lupo, alternate commissioner.
Catherine Gallagher, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
And you said Thomas. There he is. Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys.
For tonight, with Mike and Leon not here, we're going to seat Dom Panicia and Nicole Lupo.
Right.
Right? Correct. So number 3, general public participation. So anybody in the public that wants to talk about something that's not on the agenda tonight, in person or online, please feel free. No one in person? Anybody online?
If you are online, please utilize your raise the hand tool. Seeing none.
Public hearings, we have none. Site development plans, we have none. Deliberations and determinations. Pending application. Kathleen, you want to go over that? When you get a chance.
I don't have that on my digital version. Is it till their time?
It doesn't say, it
Doesn't
just
say anything.
Oh, it says that.
is determined by commission. So
Mine's
we have-
none.
So I have none also.
However, you do have Rite Aid on Monroe Turnpike in front of you.
Oh, that's good.
Bankrupt. We have a new application for someone coming in. I don't know if we're going to have a meeting in 2 weeks, so we wanted to get it in front of you now. That just came in yesterday. They will be on, so the agenda was already posted. They will be on for a public hearing April 2nd, I believe. Yeah.
Sweet.
April 2nd.
All right. And rain. New applications, we have none. Let's get to the meeting minutes from January 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve January 8th's regular meeting minutes as drafted.
Second.
Westland second. We have a motion and a second. Anybody up for discussion? Anybody see anything? Commissioner Smergalino discussed the windows. Anybody anything? Nope. We'll take a vote to approve the meeting minutes. To my right, or we could all just, whatever you guys want to do.
Vote yes.
Yes. Ryan?
Yes.
Wayne, yes.
Westland, yes.
Lupo, yes.
Minutes are approved. Zoning matters. Kathleen, you want to take us through these?
Yes. So the first one is subdivision 2025-08 Rockledge Farm, which is 83 Hattertown Road. The request was for an additional 30-day filing extension. They originally had to file everything by February 4th, 2026, and they were asking for 30 days to March 4th, 2026. I realize that today is March 5th, 2026. We just didn't have meetings. We had it canceled. I didn't penalize the applicant, though. They did come in and they filed. So this is more of a housekeeping matter.
So it's done?
Yes, but we still have to vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the 30-day file extension for SUB 2025-08 Rockledge Farm, 83 Hattertown Road.
Second.
I have a motion, have a second. Any discussion? Nope. All right, let's take a vote. Dom?
Benicia, yes.
Condon, yes.
Mayne, yes.
Westland, yes.
Lupo, yes.
13-12 SCP A1 2/10 Victoria Drive. bond release.
So this is for an old application that was in front of the commission and approved for 2 and 10 Victoria. Since then, we have had other applications that have come in, 2 and now 6 Victoria, which is the daycare center, and some other items. So this is just 2 previous bonds that were associated with past applications that never came to fruition, that never put a shovel in the ground. But technically, we still need to release them since we were the ones that put the bonds into place.
Okay. Any discussion, guys?
I'll make a
Motion?
motion to release the bonds or grant the request for release of bonds for 1312 SCP and 1312 SCP A1 210 Victoria Drive in full.
I will second.
Second?
Yeah.
Either one. All right, take a vote. Dominic?
Yes, Panitia, yes.
Condon, yes.
Mayne, yes.
Westland, yes.
Lupo, yes.
Done. The next one, a 90-day extension for SCP 2025-05, file 1669, and SUB 2025-04, file 1281 for 1536 and 1564 Monroe Turnpike.
So they are requesting an additional 90 days in order to meet the conditions of their approval. Their notice of decision was noticed in the newspaper December 10th. Therefore, they needed to, plus the 15-day appeal period, and then the 90 days, they're asking for another 90 days. So they're requesting that the extension be granted from the beginning of March to June 23rd. Staff has no problem with it. We've talked to the applicant. It's a very substantial bond, so it's just they're waiting on the financial institution to get some information to them and to coordinate that with those items. So, roads usually take a little bit of extra time. There's no limit to how long we can grant them an extension. So they're requesting 90 days, and I feel like that's a reasonable request.
Any discussion?
I'm good with it.
I'll make a motion to grant the extension for 90 days for SCP 2025-05, file 1669, and SUB 2025-04, file 81, 1536, and 1564 Monroe Turnpike.
We have a motion?
Second.
Westland, second. Take a vote.
Panitia, yes.
Condon, yes.
Mayne, yes.
Westland, yes.
Lupo, yes.
Done.
Right.
Planning and zoning text amendment priority discussion with Kathleen. Welcome back.
Thanks. So we are looking to see what the commission would like to prioritize in T26. I have a very long list, which I have provided to you, of the text amendments that are on my radar to be done. They are categorized into high priority, medium priority, and low priority. However, I'm looking for impact to see if anybody has any changes to it or any specific ones they want to move up or ones that they feel like are not as important, and even a little guidance within the high priority ones, which ones we want to focus on. The biggest ones that we had no choice over are the text amendments that are being prompted by HB 8002, which is Public Act 25-1, which has to do with changes to as-of-right housing developments. Both that and the traffic mitigation districts. There's some mobile home regulations, things like that associated with all of that, that we don't have a choice on. That deadline is that it has to be adopted by July 1, which means I need to have it in front of you guys basically in April. So the request will be to schedule a subcommittee meeting after this. I already have a draft of 2 of the items, and then my thoughts on the third one. I've sent it to the town attorney, and I'm waiting on him to give me some feedback so that we understand what we legally can and cannot do. Unfortunately, the state is not giving us a ton of guidance on some of the gray areas of the bill, and we're kind of left to our own devices. So we're going to do the best we can, and then we'll make adjustments if we need to. Sign regulations, it has been brought up several times to do an entire full review of the sign regs. Reviewing kind of some of the residential sign sizes have been brought up in the past. Moving digital signs, which are right now are prohibited, but that's been brought up as maybe doing that in a limited manner. single pole mounted commercial signs, reviewing that, portable signs, internally illuminated signs. I was told that we're currently on hold related to the changes we made to the internally illuminated.
So what happened was while you were gone, a bunch of businesses in town just got bombarded with notices of non-compliance, I guess, with their signs.
Yeah.
And some of the places complained about like, hey, one's not lit, the other one's lit, this one is this one is that. And I think we got away from what we were, and this is my opinion, and obviously I am asking for everyone else's opinion. My opinion was we got away from the essence of what we wanted, and we wanted like no flashing signs, and we wanted really high neon signs at night to kind of be curtailed or eliminated. But what happened was I think we put it in a way that now affected, because it comes to memory quickly, like the cigar lounge. They have two signs hanging in their window. One's lit, one's not. But because the one was not and it wasn't supposed to be there, they got ticketed or they got flagged.
The other one was the pizza place that had like a old
American Pie, right?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola sign on like the back wall for like decades, and that got a flag as that like fell into it, and it was
Right. So we're just kind
Colonel
of,
lit up
You just,
Coca-Cola
so the only
sign.
way to change that is to change the square footage. We have to do that across the board. We can't dictate speech. So if we do it for one, we have to do it for everybody.
no, of course. But I think I think what happened was we just got away from, I think we potentially impacted businesses that we really weren't trying to impact. So,
But it is tricky to
and again, Rob makes a great point. It's so tricky
to write the language, right?
Correct.
To try to make sure that the ones that are tactful are going to stick around, and the ones that are
tacky.
problematic, yeah.
As long as it's from a physical characteristic. Again, we can't dictate speech.
Right. Some people put maybe they put the right size sign up in their window, but it's so bright that it's not, I don't know how much it really benefits the town. I mean, the discussion is, do signs even help the town really? Like, with social media today and stuff. So
The other thing was,
it's a very tricky subject.
hours of operation, like,
Right.
so you need to have these lit up signs on when you're closed, and that was kind of one of the
That's a big one.
discussions that we were kind of talking about, and it's like,
Yeah. If I own a deli and I close at 3:00, do I need a sign that says, come get your fresh roast beef at 7?
lit up in the middle of the night.
It's tricky, and I disagree.
Yeah, it's one thing to ask them to just take something down. It's another thing to ask them to install something that allows them to. Well, first off, everything would be grandfathered.
Really?
Well, from that perspective, the reason that we wrote these regulations was because every internally illuminated sign was prohibited in town. We just weren't enforcing it. So what we did is we loosened the regulations in order to allow one sign of a certain size so that people could use it for an open sign or a Coca-Cola sign or whatever they wanted to have it. Because again, we don't dictate speech. So whatever they wanted it. And then we enforced that new regulation as compared to enforcing the old regulation, which was prohibiting everything. So if now we add something new, which is that you have to turn it off, if we add a new restriction, we can't retroactively go back to any existing sign and enforce that. So we were doing the opposite. We were too restrict in our regulations and we are loosening it, and then we enforce the loosened version. But now we can't restrict it and retroactively go to any of the existing signs.
I don't think the way we wrote it was a problem. I just think that we had two businesses that complained that I know of. We had the dry cleaner and the pizza place, and I understand what their, gripe was. But I just come from the line of thought that it's not going to affect them. I think once everybody gets, in line with the regulation, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think right now it's a race to who could be brighter or who could be more visible.
Yeah.
And I think people that are basically shopping there they already know who they are. They already know their hours. They already know what
I'd
they
just
do.
like to say something to that. If a business, we like to promote business. So if a business is successful, then the town is successful. And the resident get to shop more. So we want to restrict the signs, but at the same time, we want to give those businesses some visibility because not everybody knows every single business in town. So we want to restrict the signs, but at the same time, we want to make sure that those businesses have some visibility so that the shoppers could go and frequent them.
I don't disagree with that. I think you're right, but I also agree with Rob where this day and age, those signs, I just don't know how much they help or hurt you. I don't know if there's a number. I don't know if we could, right. I don't know if we could put a number on it to say, well, if I can't have this Coca-Cola sign, Thomas, good save, buddy. Good save. That was well done. This cat jumped in front of the camera. I just don't know
I
if,
agree with that, but I mean, at the
You know-
same time, we want to give them some visibility.
So for instance, we didn't like those big flags and those, Thomas, I know you basically drove around town and identified where you saw those big flags and then gave them letters and said those aren't allowed. Please put them down. Is that how you also enforce the light policy?
Correct. That's exactly what I did. Same thing. Drove around at night to see which ones were lit up. Took an inventory of them and then sent out the letters of compliance.
As opposed to waiting for somebody to put in an official complaint about a sign being too bright and then enforcing it.
Correct. If we were going to enforce it, we wanted to enforce it across the board because the reason why we struggle with the flag signs is someone complains, we tell them to take it down, and then they look at us and say, well, that guy has their sign up. And then they take it down for a week and then they put it back up again. And then we're just chasing them.
Set a
So,
precedent.
I mean,
Set a precedent.
I may be in the minority here, but I think the flag signs, if they just say like open and you're in a strip mall, like, I don't see any benefit to that personally myself.
What? No, nobody likes the flag signs.
Right.
Not-
So I know, so if I could finish talking, that'd be great. Thanks. I appreciate it. And then the neon signs to say you're open again.
Well, we're allowing that. That we were allowing.
Those are allowed.
No, but some of them were flashing and some of that kind of stuff. We weren't. I thought we were
We
not.
were allowing one open sign. Not open, one sign that typically says open.
Yeah,
No
but
flashing.
within a
I
sign.
think most people are going to use it to say open, but they
Right.
could technically use it for
But it
anything.
can't be flashing, racing.
Correct.
Say soda.
Correct. So the signs, I think we need to get, I think we've gotten better on, personally myself. I think we're going to get into a season now, the spring season, that those signs are going to come back out. And I think we should stick to our guns on those and get rid of them. I don't know. I just don't see any value to those. I think it makes the corridors of the town not look the best. And I don't know how much those really help. I just really think we should really focus on staying proactive with the business, but also staying at a point where let's not go too crazy with these signs that these are I don't know how much they help.
Well, and keep in mind too, as a zoning enforcement officer, you got to give these guys some teeth, some ammunition to go do their job. And like that sign that was blinking over by the medical office. Remember, there was nothing literally you could do about that because there was nothing written. And that was causing an outrage with the town for months. And ultimately they went out of business. So the problem took care of itself, but that's not how to handle it.
Right.
So
Well, and I apologize for interrupting. That's not necessarily true. Thomas stopped by. We're talking about the one that was around. Thomas stopped by the owner's other business multiple times. He just wanted to take it down. So he did have the ammunition he needed to enforce it. The guy just didn't do
I
it.
was told something, there was nothing to do with it. LED wasn't written into the regulation.
It was great.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we wrote it, because we wanted to be crystal clear
Right.
on what they could and could not have.
I just want to make sure you guys have the tools you need to.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think we should take this to subcommittee.
absolutely. That's the whole
And-
point of this. It's just,
Take it to subcommittee and let's figure it out a little bit better. If we can make it better, and if not, then we'll just go with what we have.
sounds good.
That's in my opinion.
So is there anything on the high priority section that anybody thinks shouldn't be high priority? 'Cause
Well, so let's go through some of the other ones. So hours of construction, this is a personal one that is just going to be here. It's really easy. I just want to clarify, sometimes we just have the hours of construction in the resolution. I just want to make sure the zoning regs and our resolutions match. Group and family childcare home, that's actually a public act from 2023 that we haven't updated yet. So I'm working with legal counsel with the town attorney, but I do need their input before I'm able to publish that because again, there is some gray areas. Waivers, I need to do a full review of all the waivers that the P and Z Commission is stated of having the power to grant, which I believe are illegal. That's a big lift because again, I need the town attorney, but I think it's important. Smoke shops, we get a lot of complaints. I don't know if maybe we require them to have a special exception permit for the use, so we can regulate them a little more. There's also an idea of putting a total cap for the town. I think, you guys are better armed if you just do a special exception permit because then you can really do it based on location and, other ones that are there, and then they're forced to come in front of you to really talk about what.
Smoke shops, we're talking like these vape shops and.
Yeah, those types of smoke shops.
We have to figure out proper language for that too.
Correct, and then we can define that. We can define what that smoke shop is compared to a cigar shop or compared to something else. We can make some definitions to it so that, we are allowing maybe some of the cigar shops, which we feel like have some character to not be as.
And can I ask, one thing I've been looking to bring up here, maybe that now it's the right time. In our regulations where it's written in there that we don't, as far as the whole THC marijuana situation, we're not to be, growing it, selling it, that kind of thing. Now, with the liquor stores, they're selling THC products at this point.
THC beer.
So where does that fall?
I would have to reread exactly what we have. It's very clear that we can't have dispensaries. And we have a definition again for that.
I believe it specifically says the sales, growing, it was everything.
But this isn't a dispensary, this is an accessory use at a liquor store.
But it says sale. I believe in the regulations, because I remember Bill Porter.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, no, he had put it
But I
up, but
think
it wasn't our.
We can make it more clear, even in like the definition of a liquor store. We could add something at the end that says, shall not include the sale of THC products.
And that's something we could talk about a subcommittee also, whether
We should talk about that
We
subcommittee
can.
because if you're talking about like THC.
they have seltzers, they have, people giving samples away at liquor stores with THC.
There's big Connecticut local breweries that sell the product now too. So, we also have to decide, is that something we want to just default to the state and take it out of the regulations? And if the state allows it, let the state allow it, or do we still want to
Regulated on our own.
ban the sales? I don't know. I remember years ago when we put it in, my concern was the farming aspect. I thought that we should be allowed for the farms in town to grow it if the state made it legal, because it was an opportunity for farms in town to stay in business.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't mind discussing that and, potentially removing it.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Good job.
Houses.
Mine actually changed when his changed.
Well done.
The opposite way. I was against it.
I appreciate that comment.
Well, now we have Jones in town and maybe they want to start growing.
Hoop houses, agricultural structures, farm store setbacks. Technically farm stores don't have a separate setback. We think they should have a lesser setback so that it can be closer to the road. We're not really enforcing that right now. We're letting farm stores be closer to the road, but we just like to formalize it. And then there was a request by Commissioner Ambrosi about lowering agricultural requirements for agricultural farm buildings on actual like state regulated agricultural farms. And then we just want to make sure we're reviewing hoop houses on non-residential properties, but allowing them on commercial and just making sure that it's as it can be. Medium priority, short-term rental regulations. Now that the case law came out a year and a half ago about short-term rentals are permitted unless they are specifically prohibited in the regulations. We can either prohibit short-term rentals completely, or we can create regulations for short-term rentals in town so that people can still do them, but they have a set of regulations and parameters which they have to operate under.
Is there a big request for Airbnbs and,
Well, since the Warren House is an Airbnb, now a bunch of people have come in and said, well, past staff said Airbnbs weren't allowed. And I go, yeah, because technically zoning regulations, if they don't permit it, it's believed to be prohibited. However, once the case law came out in this specific stance, the case law now overrides that thought process, and you can permit short-term rentals in single-family residential homes. So people have come to us saying, well, so wait, I can do an Airbnb? So we have gotten a handful of people that have acted as if they wanted to do it.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that do. And
There are a handful of people that already do. I do kind of take note of it.
again, it was never not allowed. It was just never considered. And because we never considered it,
yeah, because what would you
in
want
fact,
to
it was then not allowed because of that lovely line in our regulations that said, if it's not mentioned here, it's not allowed.
do? I just, yeah, I don't know why you'd, I mean, outside of the Warren House, why?
I have done Airbnbs in a adjacent municipality, but my whole family came into town. So my whole family's out of town. So we'll rent an Airbnb. I had an infant at the time. And so they all came to me. My house isn't big enough for everybody. So we rented an Airbnb on the lake, the fire pit, and we stayed there for the week and just see how it's
I
good.
rent one right off 110 in Shelton. Just a random house. They came from Minnesota and they just decided to stay there instead of a hotel. I mean, it's fine. I think the only regulation I'd be worried about is potential parking. If you get too many people, like.
Yeah, I hear you. I just don't know how big
Besides
of a,
that.
outside of maybe the Warren House, how big of a market Monroe is for.
I rented an Airbnb for like a
Not just-
bachelorette afternoon.
No, I understand, but I just don't know how big of a market we
We can
have.
look at the Airbnb map right now and see how many properties pop up.
It's a medium priority.
Yeah.
So I have it as a medium priority. If it becomes an issue, it's there. I just want also you guys to know you have the ability now as part of the case law. The case law now states you have the ability to create regulations dictating the parameters of short-term rentals. Meadery, distillery, winery use definitions and regulations. Currently, we have a brew pub regulation. We don't have any of the other ones. You may be seeing a text amendment for a meadery at some point in the near future. Because that came in as a request, we realized we also didn't have a distillery or a winery. I have no use to put them under. I don't think we're against a small scale meadery. They
What's the
will,
difference between a meatering and a winery?
Uh,
It's mead, one makes one.
yeah.
Mead is-
So mead's made out of honey.
Oh,
Yeah, it's made out
Nephew
of.
makes it.
yeah, I thought a meadery was a winery.
No.
No, it's specifically mead. But our alcohol regulations say that you have to provide food when you are doing alcohol. So like if they do a tasting, they have to provide not just food, but warm food.
Yeah, food trucks,
Yeah.
clarify, work
But
for
they
that.
don't have a location yet, so we're not quite sure if that would even be an option for them. If they're at a location that has it, do they need to pick a location that has it? But we do specifically say that brew pubs don't have to have hot food. They can just have like snacks. So again, that's something that I think it meets the definition of a brew pub closer than anything else. But a brew pub is very specific to beer in our regulations. So we would have them come in. But if we are going to potentially do a meadery, if these guys do come in for mead, I think we should also look at distilleries and wineries at the same time. So it's just all covered if someone wants to do some sort of tasting or satellite location to do tasting or something of the sort.
Like most wineries in Connecticut don't supply hot food.
Usually the
Most
catering.
food trucks.
They allow you to bring your own food or
Food
food
truck.
trucks where they just like do like charcuterie.
Yeah.
Doesn't-
So I don't think what they're asking for is unreasonable. I just don't have anywhere to put it in the code.
Brian is so sophisticated. It's-
Mobile business vendors. So like, can a mobile business vendor exist outside of a like food truck at an event? Can it exist outside of an event? Can the food trucks set up at non-event locations? I think the answer is no, but I want to be very clear. What if it's, Thomas, didn't someone come in for like a mobile vet clinic or something in a van?
Yes, yeah, we had the mobile vet and a few mobile food truck inquiries.
Yeah, what's that bus that's sitting in front of the old
Yeah, no nose.
new sandwich place on 25? There's like an old trolley bus.
Yeah, the trolley.
Says it's like some sort of, yeah.
They come to your house if you're having a party or something like that.
I didn't know if they were,
Yeah, so, do we allow mobile business vendors that are non-food? We, allow them to do that? Do they have to have a home base location? How does that work? So we have had an inquiry once or twice about a non-food mobile business.
if they want to.
There's a lot of gypsies.
Yeah.
So the question is like, are we willing to entertain it? Are we not? And if we're not, then we have our directive and we're good to go. So some of this is just doing that. Our FEMA regulations are wrong. Unfortunately, it should have been updated many, many years ago, but I think because we grant 2 floodplain permits a year, it was never a priority. I still have it as a medium priority, but it is something I need to get to. Low priority native plant regulations. The Conservation Commission has suggested several options before.
They make great suggestions.
Don't want to lose that in the queue. Non-town community center uses. I've had 1 or 2 people come in with some really unique nonprofits that was mostly kind of like a community center, but we only have a definition for a town community center. We don't have a non-town. I don't think it's a high priority. It's on the low list, but it is something that has been brought up before. And text changes to support points for sustainability CT. We did apply and receive sustainability CT status a year ago. There are things, but it was kind of rushed at the end. There are things we can do from a sustainability perspective to support them if we so choose desire. Again, that's low on the priority list, but it's something that can be reviewed.
What makes a non-town community center not just like a gym or a?
Because it wasn't, we have indoor recreation.
Yeah.
That's like a soccer field. This was like a gathering space that had like a big art component and like brought in members of the community and like, did some.
A museum?
It wasn't a museum. You weren't looking at anything. It was a gathering space.
Oh, for them to do.
Yeah,
They're gonna do art?
or to see art, to bring artists in to do a show or dancing or, other things. So it was like they wanted to bring people together to gather, like community events, but it wasn't a museum and it wasn't indoor recreation.
Just like event space? Like then wouldn't that be like what's the Harmony Grange? Or like that place
What was
approved down at the little 50+ people down?
Oh, by the,
We don't know if that's open?
I don't know what use that was defined under.
Oh, okay.
Because I've looked at it, I've actually looked at it since then because someone wanted to go into the space and I had to make sure the parking was accurate. And like that there was enough parking space for the entire
is that a Rick move?
complex.
No, it was like and
it was
like the water too and like.
Next to the sheetrock guy.
Yeah, we had.
Well, Waterview could be a restaurant with a catering component, that has like a food, this didn't have a food component.
Yeah, you're right. They were gonna, they bring in.
So I feel like those are by seats of like, if you have a Waterview, it's kind of, there's a food component and a banquet and then you have seats and then you have all those things. There was no food component with it. It was just a gathering space. So it was kind of like a community center. That was like the town community center definition was the closest.
Okay.
All
It
right.
wasn't town owned, it was privately.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Let it
So
be.
again, I think it's going to be one of those things that is going to become high priority if they come back or if another use comes in, but that's why it's just low priority. But these are all the things that have come up in the
We
last.
could always move that to a high priority if it becomes
Exactly.
high priority.
Exactly. So
I'm,
all the things that have kind of been on the radar for the last year.
okay, in my opinion, overlooking the list of high priority, medium, high, and low, I agree with your higher priority, and I think we should get a subcommittee going and maybe put a couple of these that we could knock out relatively quickly. I don't know about the subcommittee members' opinion, but the more of these we can get moving forward, the better it is for the town and easier it is for Kathleen going forward. Any opinions?
Yeah, and I would just, under the medium priority, I think the short term, the Airbnb and the meter you seem to say have had more recent inquiries maybe?
Again, if the metery, if they come in, it'll be high priority and we'll look at it all together. Short-term rental regulations, that's really up to you guys. I'm looking for input if you guys feel like that should be a higher priority.
Just because they're in that category doesn't mean that if they don't come, if they don't want to, if they
No, I
don't.
would just say put that above the mobile business vendor and, well, FEMA is probably kind of maybe important. Especially because then we put a daycare and a football store.
They're going for a Loma, they're changing the line. They believe that the line isn't there. So actually,
Kathleen, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I think we should set up a subcommittee, and I think you should pick what you feel are the top 3, 4, 5 things that you want to get accomplished ASAP, and let's get on it. And then with every subcommittee, I think with every subcommittee going forward, in my opinion, I think we should put at least 1 or 2 items on it that you want to get accomplished. So outside of people coming into saying, hey, what do you think of this beautiful building? We also get to that. My opinion, subcommittee needs to be taken a little bit more serious per se, just for lack of better words, so that we can get some of this stuff.
more focus.
More focused, there you go. More focused to get it to this point.
So with that in mind, would we like to schedule subcommittee?
No, absolutely not. That's great. Why would we want to schedule it?
So,
Did you speak to Mike about a
yes,
certain
so
date?
he comes back on the 10th. So the first Monday would be the 16th.
Ooh, you good with 16?
Or to be honest, I think we don't have anything for the 19th for the planning and zoning meeting in 2 weeks. We could also swap it out if that's easier for people, if it's all right.
19th, okay, do it on a Thursday, so
I won't be able to make that meeting, so.
You will or you won't? I'm good either one.
I'm not on subcommittee, so.
would you guys feel better doing it on a Thursday meeting day instead of a separate Monday? Or would you guys rather get it?
I don't think I'll be here on the 19th.
I could do both, so
I can do it.
I can do both.
I don't have a preference.
I prefer the Thursday one over the Monday one,
I'll
but
do Thursday.
let's do the 19th, and then Dom, just get back to us if you can make it or not.
I don't think I can.
All right, well, then you're out. How's that sound?
That doesn't sound good to me.
I mean, we get to vote on everything in the regular.
Should we do it a little bit earlier? Kathleen, 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
5:36? What do you want to do?
Usually it's 5, and then we
Right.
bumped it to 5:30.
What do you want to do?
5 or 5:30, yeah.
Let's set it up. Let's set up for 5:30 on Thursday, the 19th. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Thursday, the 19th at 5:30. In here or in the,
Next.
Outside of planning and zoning at the Sun
Okay.
conference table.
usual spot? All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Right.
And Thomas,
Greetings all. I attended tonight to go over a few ongoing violations, a couple ongoing violations, and to get some feedback as to what we could do moving forward to get these resolved pretty much. You guys are all aware of the properties. The first one is 604 Main Street, the business known as Precision Motorworks. They received a citation at the last year.
also lounge.
Yeah, right next to the cigar lounge on Bart Center, Marketplace Square, whatever you want to call it now. They have been accruing fines currently for over a year. It's been about 53, 54 weeks since they've been accruing fines. We had a citation hearing with the citation officer, Elizabeth Edgerton, at the end of last year. They were put under a 60-day observation period, essentially giving them one last chance to clean up the property, get in compliance, and then we were to schedule a final citation hearing to close out the violation and the citation and to put it to bed. But they are continually in violation of multiple regulations, the precedent conditions that have been around for decades on that property. It includes excessive amounts of vehicles being parked there on all 4 sides of the building. We obviously all know that their specialty is diesel vehicles. They're not supposed to park commercial vehicles there overnight. They are. They're now using the rear of Bart Center as an overflow lot for all of these vehicles. And on top of that, they're also working on these vehicles outside of the bays, which is in clear violation of Article 8, which states that all service and repair activities need to be conducted fully enclosed in the fully enclosed building. I understand that there is a severe need in town for diesel mechanics, but the simple fact is the business owner signed a lease on a property that has certain restrictions for it. And we can't overlook that just because there's a need in town, and they can't overlook that either. And the fact remains that because they are working on these diesel vehicles, they're too large to fit in these bays, and that's why they're doing work outside. This citation hearing, like I said, happened at the end of December. I've tried to reach out to the property owner several times to set up some type of meeting with him, with the business owner, myself, and Kathleen during town hall hours so that we all four of us could just kind of get together and figure out a way to move forward with this. I've been blown off multiple times when giving them dates and times that were available. At this point, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move forward with getting these guys in compliance because it seems like they just are really concerned with the ongoing violations. So I'm reaching out to you, the members of this commission, to maybe try to figure out some outside the box method of how we could get them in compliance. I don't even need a response right now. If you guys want to take the night or the weekend to, think about something, and maybe next week you can reach out to myself and Kathleen to figure out a way to move forward with this. The residents are still, calling us all the time, saying that it's an eyesore, saying that it's egregious. And, they have the citation that's been there for over a year. They have over $54,000 in fines accrued at this point. And it just doesn't seem like it's a priority for them to fix these violations. So like I said, I just don't know what to do at this point with 604 Main Street.
My question to you is, what can we do? Because obviously the violations don't mean anything. The fines don't mean anything. They're continuing to work, so they're basically saying, we'll do whatever we want here.
Yep.
And going forward, that yes, I want to be business friendly, but I also want businesses to understand that there are rules and regulations to follow, and they obviously don't care. So because they don't care, then what's saying that the next business doesn't care? So what can we do? Like, can we
Cease and desist.
cease and desist and just say, hey, you can no longer operate? And
There's a couple of things that we could do legally. One of them is we're going after now the user, the tenant. But the landlord must have leased it to them with certain restrictions. So we should be able to, through a legal way, find out if he allowed to lease something that he had no right to lease.
Every time I have an issue with a tenant on the property that I own, they come straight for me. They bypass the tenant every single time.
yeah.
The tenant doesn't have any skin in the game.
I agree with Rob. I'm not going to go after the tenant. I want to go after the guy who owns the building.
That's what I meant. Go after the person.
All right, but if he's blown us off 4 times, why are we even at this point? We should be at a point where we lock their doors of some sort, or we stop them, or like, can you get the police to show up and say, hey, you're not working today, or can you? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't.
We would need legal to help us.
And then, so my question is, why have we not gotten to that point? Why have we not?
Get a response from them.
So it's hard to get a response from legal? Okay, I'll make a phone call tomorrow.
Is there anything about this property that would defer to the health department?
No, I don't think so. The only thing we could really do is defer to wetlands because of the water course in the rear of the property and them working on vehicles outside. Leakage could result in, a contaminated water course in the rear. As far as enforcement is concerned, per state statutes, the last resort we have to do is place a lien on the property. But
That'll
that's
get their
really,
attention.
No, where?
Any of the vehicles blocking sight
I mean,
lines?
the landlord it's hitting his wallet.
So they are allowed to have two vehicles in that corner. They're supposed to be cars so that they don't block the sight lines. What ends up happening though, sometimes they put bigger trucks and then
If
that.
they do, can the police give a ticket for blocking a sight line to the specific vehicle?
Well, when there's a sight line issue, they go to Thomas and Thomas is usually the one that goes to them and handles it.
Yeah, but can we see, is there potential there for police officers to start slapping those cars with tickets? Because assuming they don't own the car, they're working on it, and now that car is going to get a ticket, they're not going to get a lot of business if all of a sudden cars illegally parked under their possession are getting tickets.
We can talk to Chief White and see what's.
Ticket cars.
Thing, I don't think it's a police matter.
Well, it is if it's blocking us. If the car is blocking a sight line for people pulling out of a street onto a main road, someone's gonna get in an
But
accident.
he said that they could have two parking spaces in that area.
Yeah, but again, if it's a big enough vehicle and it's truly blocking a sight line.
Are they allowed to do repairs in the exterior of the building?
No.
And then can we flag them on that?
We have. They have a citation.
On the flag.
Wait, are they,
They owe us
so
$54,000.
that's what I'm asking. They haven't paid any of the fines? So.
No,
what-
because they need to rectify the violations and then come back for the final citation hearing to say, hey, we've corrected everything, there's no more violations, and then that's when the fine gets issued.
And sometimes they'll negotiate the fine. I mean,
Correct.
That's fine.
that does exist.
That's
So
fine.
they
That's-
haven't paid any of it because they're waiting till the final where they would have the.
One other
try to negotiate.
What does our town attorney say?
He doesn't get back to us.
He has to find a way to enforce
He doesn't get back to us.
it. The town attorney?
Yes.
Would it make sense for us as a commissioner to meet at the site?
Do what?
Can we?
No.
Well, the town attorney has to do its obligation.
He doesn't return the phone.
Lean sounds like something.
We need a touch.
You still need the town.
But if that's what you guys want, that's at least helpful, that we know that you guys want to escalate it to that step. We will reach out to him again.
Like that.
And
We want the town attorney, or we want to hire
And
outside, this always gets them. We want to hire outside lawyer
Counsel.
to counsel to represent the Planning and Zoning Commission on its own in this case.
Yes.
I agree with
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, that's a right move.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then from there, we could go with
That's a-
enforce the, whatever we find them, and also take them to court.
we have our marching orders. Thomas, do you feel like you have your marching orders?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We'll touch base tomorrow.
Okay. Anything else, Thomas?
Yep, 485 Pepper Street, Grasso Construction. We received yet another written complaint earlier this week. This is involving the dirt and mud. That's all over the road right now. Obviously, it's that time of year with the snow and ice melting and everything. But they don't maintain their part of the road when it gets dirty, like they're supposed to. This resulted in the owner of one of the businesses in the area buying their own machine to clean up their own parking lot. That owner has reached out multiple times directly to Grasso to try to handle the situation between themselves as neighbors, and it leads to no result. And so that's why they came to us to file this complaint regarding all the mud and dirt on the road. And obviously, we're well aware that this is one of the many ongoing issues with Grasso Construction at 485 Pepper.
Now, do the rumble strips that are there now, there are rumble strips, right? When you're leaving?
No,
They were supposed to be, when we originally approved
they
it,
were there for a little while, but they haven't been there in a long time. I drive,
Technically, they're in construction.
Yeah.
Technically, they're in.
Have we
the
tried
middle
to
of it.
Reach out to see if they would put those back in.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the weather conditions.
We can't. I think this is mostly just to let you know. We had told the people that had made the complaint that we would both follow up ourselves to make sure their erosion control measures were, they just came in. And we said, hey, we have a meeting tonight. We'll also just bring it up to the commission to have some accountability when they come back in for their SEP amendment, which they should be at some point in the next couple months, although I don't have anything yet.
Last
We
time
just-
he came in front of us, he was pretty responsible and cooperative.
because he wanted something.
Lied about everything. He didn't do
You
nothing.
gotta understand, most people that are gonna come in front of us, to be honest with you, they obviously, they all want something. So at the moment of them coming in front of us, it's for a want. It's for a want. So either someone from the public is gonna show up and tell you that they're pro-town, but they only come up when there's something that affects their neighborhood. And you have a builder that, and that's why we sit here is to decipher what is best for the town. Everyone that comes in front of you is, there's a want. Everybody wants something, right? So it's for us to decide. And when you have a person that continuously violates, of course, when they come in front of us, they're going to be the most gracious and courteous and all that kind of stuff. It's because they want more time.
But at the end of the day, what can we do about this? Can we do a site visit and?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll follow up with them. Like I said, I think the main purpose of this is we wanted to be respectful to the person that made the complaint and give them more accountability than just staff going out. We said we will bring it up at the next meeting. We think the commission would be interested in it, just to make you aware of what's going on. Thomas, do you have any like direct questions or directives that you're asking for from the commission for this?
No, nothing directly. I just wanted to make you guys aware once again. This property is coming up as a concern for neighboring businesses, neighbors, residents, as always.
Rumble strips is what I would go over there and see if they have them, and if they don't, they need to put them down.
Okay, we could do that.
That's even something you want during the construction.
Correct. That's when it's like messiest.
Yeah.
Well, their tracking pad is just not
Tracking pad.
the way it should.
Tracking
They
pad, yeah.
Their tracking pad is messy, they're not cleaning, and I guess they are cleaning it, but they're cleaning it in the evening. And then it's clean until they drive off at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then cars come at 8 to go to the businesses nearby. And so it was like, it was clean, but it was clean during the hours where there were no cars on the
You
road.
also have to understand that this is a very difficult time of year where you've got an obscene amount of, that snow when it melts is
All the salt, but now.
yeah, I mean,
They're cleaning in the evening. What do we want them to do? Cleaning during the day too?
We want them to clean it so during rush hour traffic, when all the businesses are going into the parking lots nearby, the road's clean. Whereas they clean it and then they mess it up before a big amount of cars come in.
it's just a tough time of year for. Anything else, bud?
Nope, only those two.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you guys.
Correspondence, I see none. Chairman report, I'll be honest with you, did not speak with Mike, so I don't know if he has anything on his mind or on his plate. I do not. Any commissioners have anything? Dominic has something?
I had a question about the Turkey Roost project. Any update on that?
I saw that the project towards the end of 111, the 8 homes, that land is up for sale.
That's very
The
typical.
thing we just approved
Yeah.
an extension on?
No, the one that we approved.
Yeah, the thing we just granted the extension on.
Extension on.
Yes.
It's up for sale.
Turkey Roost had a 2-year permit, right?
It's 5.
Was 5?
Special exception permits are 5 years.
Oh, 5.
On that corner of 59 Eastern Road, does he have a tenant here? Is he doing anything?
4 Easton Road?
The imaginary bagel place.
Yes, which is not going to be a bagel place anymore. He did get a variance for the work that he had done within the setback.
I saw he cleaned up a little bit too.
Thomas, you're muted. Do you have any?
Yeah, I'm dealing with a hostile feline. They did get the variance granted. They did toy with the idea of having a few tenants, but we haven't had any applications come in front of any change of tenants, applications come in front of us. So, who knows? He could just be blowing smoke.
Might need to finish the building before you get a tenant too. So.
Well, I mean, is there any, does he have a time frame to finish the building?
Probably waiting for a tenant.
I know, but
But from like a building permit perspective of like finishing siding and things like that, that's
pretty much
in the
done.
building department. We can't, windows, like that's between them. As it relates to a tenant, he's going to have to come back in front of the commission based on the use that he proposed.
I think on the exterior, he's almost the exterior is pretty much complete. And I'm assuming if he doesn't have a tenant, the inside's not gonna get done until he does have a
The
tenant.
problem is the illegal outdoor storage, which
Right.
is saying, well, we're in
If you have a
construction
problem
phase,
with the
but.
state encroachment, they give them,
Yes. So he has resolved it with the state and he has resolved his encroachment and setbacks with the town. So at the moment, it's just finding a tenant and finishing the work he.
this is a point of information.
Yeah, he better hurry
He
up
does.
before the state decides that needs to be a roundabout.
But he does have septic issues in the sense of how everybody has septic issues. You know, he has a, constrained area. That property with the property next door that was the house is not merged. I don't quite,
What did you, the house?
it's not merged. They're not merged and I'm not quite sure how the approvals in the past were granted for the parking area because it goes across the property line. So that is one thing that we'll need to revisit when he comes in, to do that. But he's also told people on the street, not us, that he was rebuilding the house and there's other things where
We
we.
wanted to put a 9-unit,
Yeah, you wanted to put apartments at one.
apartment building in there, so the septics wouldn't work with a 9-unit apartment building?
I don't know.
What's this, inside
I'm
it?
gonna say probably.
Kathleen, you got anything? Laney?
No, I think we went through,
Good.
our items.
That's everything. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second. It's now 8:02.
All in favor?
Okay, we're all in favor.